Welcome to All Things Moore County, Moore County's weekly radio show highlighting the many facets of the Sandhills. That includes real estate, lifestyle, community and neighborhoods. And now from 4 Properties, here's your host, Bill Sahadi.
Good morning and welcome to All Things Moore County. And Dorothy, good morning. And didn't we enjoy last week's show?
Oh, yes, it was fun.
With those 4 baristas from Pony Espresso.
Yes, they definitely seem like they had a lot of caffeine before they got here. So.
I think they did. And they got a lot of positive feedback from the show.
Good.
Interestingly enough, one of the ladies, Clara, was homeschooled.
Oh, wow.
And I say that for a reason, because we're going to kind of segue today a little bit towards teaching and tutoring and coaching students.
Okay.
And my guest, Trisha Gatti, in the early 2000s, from 2004, I think, to 2008, she actually had a tutoring business at Midland Hall on Broad Street. And I have a feeling that she probably worked with some homeschool students as well as students in the public school system. And she is, interestingly enough, she and we share some of the same Bergen County, New Jersey roots. And when I first spoke with you, I could hear the accent. And how long have you, because you are now opening an online tutoring business, which we're going to talk about.
Correct.
But one of the things that I always want to ask my guests is, how did you get to Moore County?
Well, my mom moved here in 1999.
Okay, that's when I moved here.
Oh, wow.
That's February of 1999.
Oh, my gosh.
Yes?
Wow.
So she moved here from?
Fort Lauderdale.
Okay.
Pompano Beach area.
Okay.
And we were there together, obviously, and I moved to California first in May of the same year, 1999.
Okay.
And I had just finished my teaching credential.
Right.
And went out there, worked for just a temporary position at the University of the Chancellor's office,
Okay.
University of California,
Okay.
in Long Beach. And then I was hired as a kindergarten teacher. So that was my first teaching job, official teaching job.
Okay. So your teaching career didn't start when you got out of school yourself. It came later in life.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I was actually for about 20 years. I was a secretary, executive secretary, legal secretary,
Okay.
and then I opened up a babysitting business and did that at the same time.
All right.
Where I sent ladies out to hotels to babysit for children.
Right.
And after that, I sold. After 12 years, I sold it. And then decided to go back to school. And then also I opened up a preschool for little toddlers.
Yeah.
And I started out with 1 child, and we ended up with 25 children for
So-
2 years.
This sounds like it's almost like a calling that you
Yeah.
had. When did you move to Moore County?
Well, after I graduated, after I received my master's degree in guidance counseling, I moved here, and my mom's husband had just passed away, so that was in 2004.
Okay.
So I've been here for 20 years.
Okay. And you and the good thing is that you haven't lost your accent, nor have I. Nobody would accuse us of being native Southerners, right?
I didn't know I still had one.
We both do, but we like to think they're mild, and we can get away with
Yes,
it.
yes.
So since 2004, so you started a tutoring business,
Yes,
working
I did.
with grade school children.
When I came here, yes, after working as a teacher, working with at-risk kids and struggling readers, and then after receiving my master's in guidance counseling,
Right.
I decided to start my own business,
Okay.
again, my third one, with helping struggling readers, and also with my master's in guidance counseling, offering career education and career counseling. So I taught some career education classes around town. One was at with a group of fourth grade class at Aberdeen Elementary.
Right.
And then with the approval of Miss Lyles, the principal, she allowed me to organize a career day, a school-wide career day, where I invited 25 guest speakers. There were business leaders in the community. It was a great event.
Right.
At the end of June in 2006.
Okay.
So, and then I just continued with the tutoring, and I decided I missed the warm weather, so I moved back to Florida for a short time.
Okay. It's funny, you mentioned June of 2006, and in June of 2006, I had my mother, who was from Tenafly, and my two aunts, one from Tenafly and one from Demarest. And I say this because these are all towns that are familiar to you. And I think when we spoke on the phone, I had told you that my sister-in-law, was a special ed teacher in Teaneck for 25 or 30 years. And
That's
I think
a long
you
time.
had said you were very familiar with, you grew up
Teaneck.
You were born in Teaneck?
No, I was born. I was born at Holy Name in Teaneck.
Okay.
But I'm trying to think. We lived in Maywood.
Okay.
And
Right
my dad
behind
was from Hackensack. Yes. So, but my uncle was the chief surgeon of Holy Name Hospital in Teaneck.
It's a small world. And after moving here in 2004, the last 20 years, there's been so much change here. But you know probably as well as I do that so many of the people who live here now full time are from the Northeast, they're from New England, they're from the Midwest. Not as many native Southerners right? Because when people, especially in the North, they're so provincial, they think that Baltimore is the deep South, right? They are from New York or northern New Jersey. But today, I mean, so many of those people are moving down this way and calling North Carolina and Moore County home. So you had 4 years of tutoring one-on-one with,
Right.
and grade school children primarily?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So sometimes parents, this has been my observation, and you probably have worked with a lot of the parents because you've had to talk with them. So sometimes parents will over-worry that there's something wrong with little Johnny or little Mary because maybe they're a little bit slower at the beginning, but that's not necessarily the case, is it?
It's those concerns that they have are real.
Okay.
And because of working with children, with especially my at-risk children, where I learned at-risk that they're slower and they're struggling, I've noticed that a lot of them that need tutoring have maybe a learning disability.
Okay.
So they may have ADD, ADHD, a learning disability. And, with these students, I've noticed they're very intelligent students.
Okay.
I have ADD. I'm not saying I'm very intelligent,
Okay.
but it just takes a little bit longer for things to connect.
To click.
It's in their brain. I went to a seminar, and that's how they like the connection is a little slower, but once they get something, they get it better than the other kids.
I got
you. So these kids are mostly brilliant.
So but some of the kids do. Like I was wrong. Some of the kids will have learning disabilities, or they may be a little bit slow in school.
Yes.
And do you have to deal with issues of self-esteem with these students? Do they feel like because maybe they're slower in school with their classmates, they become a little more self-conscious?
They are. They do lack confidence. And the funny thing about it, it's funny that you mentioned it, because I found over the years that if they just have a tiny bit of improvement, I say, "Oh, great job!" And you know what? I've learned that really helps them to do better and do more. Because they want to hear that praise, and maybe they obviously not probably getting at school because they're falling behind, and that really helps them. And I do that with all of my students. I never stop.
Do the students that come in that perhaps they need tutoring, extra tutoring, either by the suggestion of their teacher or by the concern of the parent, do the children display anxiety?
Yes, they do.
They do.
They do. In person and over the online virtually.
Yeah.
And I see that, I pick that up, but I make them feel very comfortable. In fact, before I start a session, I ask them how was their day at school, what did they do at school.
Right.
In the introduction, I always ask them what their favorite subject, what their favorite books are, what kind of books do they like to read, what kind of hobbies, sports they like. I like to do that with the introduction just to make them feel a little more at ease. And I know I have this one student. Their parents, they're all from India, so she has a little bit of an accent. It's really cute. She's in first grade, and I think she was petrified in the beginning. She was very scared. Her face was very scared. And now, as soon as I come online, she's like, hi, all smiles. So it makes me feel comfortable too now.
So today, Achievers Academics is an online tutoring.
Virtual, yes, all virtual.
Is there a difference today with the kids who have maybe reading shortcomings compared to 2004 to 8 because there's so much online activity and video games where the kids don't read as much as they used to?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes, I notice that. Yes. Oh my gosh. I am constantly asking my students what they read that day, what they have read in the past week, what books they have picked out in the library.
Right.
And one student said, first I asked him about the books he brought home from the library. Oh, we don't have a library. I said, oh, don't you have a public school?
Right.
Aren't you in a public school? Yes. And you don't have a library?
Right.
No. Well, I finally, to make a long story short, finally got it out of him that they do have a library, but he doesn't pick out any books. He says he just sits there. I said, why? He goes, because when the kids come in, they all stampede to the bookshelves. And he just sits there. So, yes.
Doing online, the classes that you teach, is it reading primarily that you're tutoring?
Yes, but my tutors will be teaching other subjects, all grades.
Okay.
All academic subjects,
Okay.
up till college admissions, college entrance exams, and essays.
So you have a group of
A pool
teachers
of tutors, yes.
that specialize in different areas.
Yes, that I don't do. My niche, or my last degree I received is a EDS in early literacy and reading.
Okay.
So my specifics is reading, teaching children how to read, and also helping struggling readers to improve their reading skills.
I remember as a kid in second and third grade, I had a ton of anxiety, and this is true. I went to PS 185 in Brooklyn, and I was not a good student, and I would try to hide out and not be seen, and of course my mother thought there was something terribly wrong with me, and my father said, just leave him alone, he's fine, let him go play, he has a lot of energy, he's got to burn off. But I remember the anxiety, and it was real, and I remember it clouded everything, the way I saw the world as a kid. And I was a later bloomer, a late bloomer.
Say it with me, Lion, the late bloomer.
Yeah.
Lion, there's a book called that.
But I feel for the kids because if they are self-conscious, if they are in a competitive situation in school, they sort of get a slow start out of the gates.
Right.
And you're there to help them pick that back up and get into the game.
Exactly. My goal is, and has been for years, decades, is to help students to be successful with their education.
Okay.
And also to help them pass their EOGs so they won't
Right.
fail and have to be left behind.
Okay, and most of the teachers, the tutors that you have, are retired teachers.
Retired and still working. Some are still working, some are retired.
Okay.
Some, yeah, still tutoring. I have one tutor that is just starting law school at Georgetown.
Oh, is that right?
Yes.
In the second set, I want to talk a little bit more about your online Achievers
Okay.
academics, and get more specific about who you're working with.
Okay.
So maybe the rates, the
Okay.
hourly rates, and this and that.
Very good.
Trisha Gatti is my guest for the hour. Her company is called Achievers Academics. It's now an online tutoring business, and I think that the kids like me who wanted to hide out now don't have a place to go because you're there, and we can't let them hide out because we want to get them to develop fully. This is All Things Moore County. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the second set of All Things Moore County. Trish Gatti is our guest. She has an online tutoring business called Achievers Academics. After spending 4 or 5 years in Southern Pines, back in the early 2000s at Midland Hall, tutoring in person with retired teachers and some current teachers. And we're going to talk a little bit this set about a little bit more about your business, about your rates, but you've had a lot of experience, and you've had probably as much experience with the parents as you have with the students. And I just received a text from one of your students, and I want to read it to you. My name is Jorah, and Trisha is our son,
Aronis.
Aronis's tutor. She is really the best at what she does. Aronis always waits for her sessions and talks about her all the time. Finding Trisha was the best that could have happened to us. We love her and hope to work with her for many years to come. That is a nice sentiment. And is this somebody that you met? Was it online or
Yes,
it was
online.
online? So, how old is Aronis?
He is in third grade.
Okay.
I started working with him when he was entering second grade, I believe, in September of 2023.
Okay.
So I've been working with him for over a year and a half. And yes, he's just a pleasure to work with. He's he just has a cute personality.
Right.
Very smart.
Uh-huh.
I call him the little professor.
Mm-hmm.
And he tells me about his dogs and his cat, his dog Chase and his cat Onion.
How did you all connect initially? How did they find you?
Through they found me online.
Okay, online.
Yeah.
So
Through
your website?
Yes.
And is that how you most of your
Well, or LinkedIn and Facebook.
Okay.
Yes.
So that started online, and you've never met him in person.
No.
So
until
you're a person on the screen.
Right. Until they decided they wanted to come and visit me in person.
Yeah. From your experience, does online tutoring, is it as effective as one-on-one, where the child is physically in the same room with you?
It is as effective.
Really? Okay.
Yes. My students, I don't know if you've had a chance to read my reviews, but students really excel.
Yep.
They are very focused. They have no distractions unless there's distractions from the family in the background or dogs or cats. But usually they're pretty centered on the instruction. And in person, there's there may be a little bit more distractions.
I understand.
And
so they're more comfortable online.
they are.
Interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The thing that I miss about tutoring children in person is the personal connection.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's always nice to have. But I just decided to go online, and it seems to be the norm now. with tutoring.
Your website is achieversacademics.com.
Correct.
Pretty intuitive. And they can reach you at admin at achieversacademics.com.
Right.
You have posted, and we'll post this as well, your rates. They start, I guess, it looks like you go all the way from grade school all the way up to college
Yes, we do.
preparatory tests.
Yes, we do. Yes. I have a couple of tutors that teach the SAT and the LSAT.
Okay.
And they also offer college. I have actually one student, I keep saying students, one tutor that's a college professor who has a doctorate in English.
Okay.
And the other student, the other tutor offers college guidance, college entrance exam instructions, and also essay writing.
Oh, wow.
And yes, so we offer all subjects, tutoring in all subjects, online, obviously, virtually, and this is with the Google Meet platform. So we offer one-on-one and also group tutoring, either in a homeschool setting or a classroom setting.
What percentage of your kids are elementary school versus high school, getting ready for college?
We don't have college yet. We were just starting with elementary.
Okay.
So we just have elementary students, and hope to have middle school and then high school students also
Okay.
eventually.
And it's $50 for an hour of instruction, or
Right.
$40 for 45 minutes.
Correct.
Do these students do it weekly? Is this something?
Some do weekly. Some do once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week. Not really more than 3 times a week. However, the student I have now that's from India, they went back from 3 days to 1 because the school gave her an iPad to use at home for like everyday work. So they decided that once she finishes first grade, that they want to do 4 to 5 days a week for the summer.
Yeah. On the tutoring for reading, because reading is so basic to every discipline that
Exactly.
you have to learn, right?
Exact. That's what I tell them.
Yeah. How do you measure their growth and their success?
When they read.
Comprehension tests or
Comprehension, I don't give them tests, but I do have a I teach with digital curriculums. So I have IXL, which covers all of the subjects, all of the Common Core standards for every state in the United States.
Okay.
So I can just plug in what state I want to teach from, and it'll give me what they need to learn for their state. Okay. Which is wonderful. It's a great program. They have questions and answers there. And I just listen, and whether we're reading something and they have comprehension questions after that, or whether they have all different subjects for, say, English. They have vocabulary, grammar, reading foundations, reading strategies. And so this covers everything. So it's not just reading and then answering comprehension questions. It's covering, is it a noun, is it a verb, is it an adjective or adverb?
Right.
However, we do have, I have a book website called readingeggs.com, which has hundreds and hundreds, maybe thousands of books. Huh. And at the end of each book, each story, whether it be a chapter book or a short story for the little ones, they have comprehension questions at the end. So I can tell whether they were paying attention or not. And
can you spot, you probably can, a child with concentration problems getting focused? Yes.
I've been able to... and when I had my tutoring business here in town, and 2 boys came to me they were kindergartners, and both of them, I noticed something, that there was maybe a little issue.
Okay.
So you have to really walk on eggs, because you don't want to insult anybody, but you want to make sure that the students get help or accommodations at school if need be. So yes, with working with students with the ADD, ADHD, and learning disabilities, I pick up on it right away. And sometimes, I mention it right away. Sometimes I'll wait for a while just to make sure that I'm not, misinterpreting something.
Right.
So, but I want to make sure, as I said, that the schools offer accommodations, like maybe a separate reading group. Maybe they're pulled for a separate reading group, like I was when I was in school, because
Right.
I didn't, having ADD, I didn't get the comprehension. I was not comprehending what I was reading. My mind was going
Everywhere.
Yeah. So, yes, I notice it.
So, was your experience as a young student yourself part of the incentive or the motivation to make
Help.
it better for the
Yes.
children today?
Yes. Helping students to, because I know what they need, more of a little bit of detail, specifics,
Right.
structure, maybe repeat, go back.
Right.
The instruction that I probably didn't get. And I also tell them I had to learn this as an adult, to focus in. If you started thinking about other things, just try to zero in
Right.
on what you're reading.
Right.
And try not to have your mind wander,
Yeah.
which it does. I mean, everybody's, but, more specifically for students with learning disabilities.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. And also for counseling, when I was in high school, I wasn't doing very well. So they asked me about where do you want to go to college? I mean, that's all they asked me. They didn't give me any specific counts.
or
Yeah,
guidance.
none at all whatsoever. What do you want to do for your career? No personality test, nothing. So that's what I offered when I first started out with Achievers.
Okay.
Also. And I ask my students that too. What do they want to be when they grow up?
And do they have an answer?
Some do. Yeah, some do, some don't.
Students are the younger ones are dreamers, right? And
Yeah.
anything is possible.
Right.
Right.
But I have found out that a lot of children that they weren't children when I read the articles, but at 5 years old they knew what they wanted to become, and they became
Oh.
a famous person.
Wow.
Yeah, they stuck with it.
Achievers Academics is an online tutoring business here. I mean, yes, it's in Moore County, but it extends way beyond anywhere
Yes.
you have a computer.
Yes.
From pre-K through high school tutoring, utilizing Trish, obviously, and her group of retired teachers or current teachers. So it's more than just reading, but it's a way of having students achieve academic success and hopefully having fun learning without the pressure of maybe the peer competition.
Exactly.
And ways to reduce their anxiety.
Yes.
We'll come back in the third set. This is All Things Moore County. Welcome back to our final set of All Things Moore County. Trish Gatti is the owner of Achievers Academics. It's an online tutoring service. And yes, this show will broadcast in Moore County, but once we put this on a podcast on YouTube, it'll be available in all 50 some odd states.
Great.
So you'll have a lot of people looking at it. So your website, let's talk about it for a minute. AchieversAcademics.com.
Yes.
What are people, if they want to just go onto the site, tell me what they're going to see and how they can navigate through it.
Well, when you first come to the homepage, that's what it opens up to. We talk about who we are,
Yeah.
what we do. We talk about what we teach, the digital curriculums, 4 of them are mentioned there, but we also use more than what's mentioned.
Right.
That I subscribe to, or we subscribe to, and we just talk about the subjects we teach, the grades we teach, the dates. I mean the times that we tutor. Actually, the days and the times that we tutor, and
My guess is
that
that's late in the afternoon after
Yes.
school, right?
yes, for students that are in a public school or setting, yes, that would be after school and the early evenings. However, if they're homeschool, it would
Right.
be any time.
Right.
Now, there are some times where we teach at schools during the day. So
Okay.
they're opened up their English or reading class during the day at school, and
Oh.
the kids get on the computers at school.
Oh, okay.
Yes, they do that
Makes
too.
sense.
And let's see, my mission statement is there, why we teach, and that's to give children the opportunity to succeed in their subjects and their schooling, and also on their EOGs, most importantly.
Yeah. I keep going back to my early grammar school days. I did not have a lot of confidence in when I walked into that classroom, and the more I was sitting around other students, I felt small, and so I, of course, specialized in playing. I was good at that, outdoor activities, recess or whatever. And my sister was just a straight A student, which made me feel even smaller.
Oh.
That's okay. You outgrow it, and you learn. You grind through it, I guess. But those anxiety feelings were real, and you know how kids are. Their universe is what they can perceive,
Right.
not anything else. And to them, that's their whole world. So the difference that you make is significant. If you can change a young student's attitude, build up their confidence, you probably have a success story or two that you're probably most proud of, whether it was online tutoring or if it was when you were doing it at Midland Hall.
In person,
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you have anything that stands out?
Yes. Well, I have one student who I had to talk to the mother about, noticing some different things. And I spoke to her the other day, and he is now an engineer.
Uh-huh.
So he's graduated from college and
And when did you have him? How old was he when you had him?
5 years old, kindergarten.
And he had reading issues?
Yes, yes,
And now he's an engineer.
yes. And is going to get married. So I was excited to hear that. Yes. And the talking about you were talking about school,
Yeah.
and how you wanted to hide,
Oh,
and
hated
it
it.
wasn't your subject.
Ugh.
I asked my nephew when he was in elementary school, "What's your favorite subject, William?" Dismissal.
Me too. That was mine. When that bell rang, I was gone.
He hated school. I taught him how to read.
Right.
But now, guess what? He's a 4.3.
Is that right?
Yes.
College.
GPA. He's 15. He's in 9th grade.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I guess he was just bored with school.
Well, self-esteem is a huge part of it.
Yes,
And
yes.
the more you have, the more you're willing to tackle challenges
Yes.
and open your mind. And if you don't have the self-esteem, you shy away from, and kids can start a pattern of negative behavior that way. And so parents, of course, want the best for their kids, so they want to put them in a place where they have the best chance for success.
Yes.
And online tutoring could be the difference.
Yes. And I was thinking of another student who came to me with, in person. I used to tutor him in person with over here at Moore County School. And they have a rating of what, I think it's 0 to 5.
Yeah.
with their scores
Yeah.
from testing.
Yeah.
He was at either 0 or 1. I forgot what the bottom number was.
Right.
And then after he was with me for a while, and I'm not saying it was all me because he has a teacher that also helped him.
Of course.
He went it to a 5.
Yeah.
So that was just another
Yeah.
story that just
You're like a coach. You're like a
Right.
coach getting the athlete into the game,
Right.
or getting them better prepared to participate
yes.
in the game.
And really, it's making fun learning. It's also making reading fun. Having them enjoy reading because when a lot of my students come to me, they do not like reading. They don't want to read, and I find stories that are fun and that
Right.
we can talk about and they can relate to. And I can ask them questions. What do you think about this? Do you have ever done this?
Right.
Things that are events in the story. So
I also like the fact that you share. You're sharing with us your rates. It looks like a menu. It's very intuitive. It's very easy to digest. And I have a feeling as a result of what you're doing right now, people are going to find you. And then word of mouth around here in particular is very strong. If a parent has a good experience with their child, they're going to tell their friends about it too.
exactly.
And so, I mean, what you're doing is great. It's sort of like you're reinventing yourself again.
Yes.
And another chapter.
Yes.
And our
Just
lives are full
another
of chapters.
venue.
That's right, exactly. I really appreciate you coming on. The website is achieversacademics.com, and you can call
Yes.
Trisha directly
Yes.
or text her at 910-420-4208. And would not surprise me if your phone starts to ring.
Well, it's been most enjoyable, Bill.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, your heart shows, and it's radio, so when your heart can show on the radio, that means your heart's in the right place.
Thank you so much.
This is All Things Moore County. Have a great week. Thank you.